Well, an interesting thing happened. On March 5th, 1972, there was a young assistant for the Education Committee, Bruce Sievers. Mr. Sievers came to me and he said, "Mr. Barlow, the delegates have decided to give you an opportunity to address the convention." The day I was to address the convention was on a Sunday. I went to my office that morning. I had prepared a speech that I had written up, but I knew that it probably wouldn't have much effect because they'd kind of heard everything. But I thought, well, if I'm to address them, I better have something ready. Well, I don't know how to explain this, shut my eyes and asked the Creator for some guidance. What could I say? What could I do that would, I guess, build upon what I had said many times before? When I opened my eyes, there was a copy of the Great Falls Tribune. And in the Tribune on the front page was an article about the testimony of a delegate from Ronan, Mr. Bob Hansen. And the newspaper gave the account of his testimony. I looked at that and I knew that I had received guidance on what I might add to my prepared text. So I went over to the Capitol, state Capitol, and the convention was meeting in the House of Representatives, and I was introduced. The president of the Montana Constitutional Convention was a very impressive, very dedicated individual, Leo C. Graybill Jr. from Great Falls. And so he announced that I was to address the group. I was very nervous. Didn't know quite how to conduct myself, but I began, and I gave this prepared speech. And then I extemporaneously added another part. I told the delegates that day about the remarks attributed to Delegate Bob Hansen, who was an independent, incidentally, from Ronan. The newspaper account said that he was testifying in opposition to a clause in the Constitution for fair housing. And the article went on to state that he defended his opposition by referring to his business. He was a car dealer in Ronan, and he said that he often sold cars to Indians. And his experience with doing business with Indians was not very good. He said things such as, according to the newspaper, they oftentimes don't pay for the cars they buy. They become delinquent. They drive these cars recklessly, and they abuse them. And sometimes they are no longer operational. He went on to say, at that time, they park them someplace, and they begin to strip them. They sell the tires, they sell the generators, they sell the batteries. He said in some cases, these Indians end up living in these cars, in these bodies. So he said, when you go to repossess them, there's nothing to repossess. And he said, finally, they use them as a bathroom. So I related this in an extemporaneous type, and I concluded by saying, and asking a rhetorical question, is bigotry in the state of Montana a real concern? If it is, then you, the delegates, have a golden opportunity to strike a blow for tolerance by incorporating into this Constitution words to that effect. I was just absolutely astounded at the reaction to my words. the delegates burst into applause like I've never heard. It frightened me, it startled me. It continued for several minutes.